What's going on, y'all? Oh man, it's been a little minute since I posted a video. Well, it ain't been that long. I mean, it's been alright, but it ain't been that long. Anyway, here I just wanted to come back and drop a video, give y'all a little update on what's going on. uh, I had took a little home time, about 3 or 4 days at the crib. Stayed home, had to handle some things at the crib, had to take care of little things, and it was much needed. You know, home time. Let me get this back here straight a little bit. Home time is much needed, man. I know as much as we like, running, driving our trucks and stuff, you still need that home time because you got to wind down and refresh yourself, rejuvenate on all the stuff that you dealt with while you was out here on the road. So yeah, I was home for a few days, and then I had my DM told me, he said, "Hey man, I'll go ahead and send you a load, or send you a load assignment that's that'll be set for when you get ready when you come back off home time." So I was like, all right, that'll be cool, appreciate it. So get this now, I'm leaving to go on home time. The same day or the next day, he sent me my pre-plan. Now I wasn't going back for another 3 days, so my pre-plan was already waiting. Which I'm gonna tell you what, I dig that. I totally dig that. I think that was real cool. So anyway, came back off of home time. So they end up giving me another load, picking up at Church of the White in Victorville, and running that down to Auburn, Washington. That was about a 1,136-mile trip, which was good. It was cool, no big deal. Ran that load, and everything worked out. After that, they put me on another load, picking up in Port Townsend, Washington, and bringing that down to Stockton, California. Excuse me. Another good load. It was cool. That was about 831-mile run. That was a good load too. And then they put me on another load that was picking up in Tracy, California, and going to Hermiston, Oregon, which is where I'm at right now. So I'm sitting over here in Hermiston, Oregon, and I got here. The load I picked up was on the 24th. It had to be in Hermiston, Oregon by 2300 yesterday. Wasn't a long trip. It was 719 miles. So I ran that. I got to the consignee at about 5:45, and I had about 30 minutes left on my clock. So dropped the load, grabbed me an empty, and came on down to the pilot, and that's where I'm at right now, sitting there relaxing. So I got about 8 hours left on my 70. So they did send me a pre-plan this morning where they said, hey, we want you to drive up to Kent, head up to Kent, pick up a load at the yard, and take that over to Port Townsend, Washington. And I was like, hold up. It takes me 4.5 hours to drive from here to Kent. And it's going to take me a few more hours to drive from Kent down to Port Townsend. So I told the dispatcher, we can dispatch. I said, hey, no, that's one I can't do, man. I said, because I ain't got but 8 hours left on my 70. I'm going to burn up 4 hours and some change getting to Kent. And then I said, once I get to Port Townsend, I'm going to be stuck at Port Townsend, forcing me to do a reset, a 35 reset in no man's land. Now, I just came back from, that's a night driver. I just came back from Port Townsend, Washington. And I know down there where we drop loads off and pick up at, ain't nothing out there. I couldn't even get no station on my TV. So I was like, nah, I'm not sitting there for 34 hours. So I was like, no, that ain't happening. So I told him he just gonna, we'll just have to, I'm gonna do my 34 right here, and then we'll Then after that, then I just wait for a load tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. or something, so I can get on out of here. Then I got a 4 o'clock. By 6:30 today, I should be 24 hours down, and then by 5:30 tomorrow morning, I would have already done a 435 reset. So, but yeah, man, I picked up that load yesterday. I picked up my empty yesterday, and I met another night driver, and he shed some light on something for him. But let me go back real quick, cause these two intertangle a little bit. They match a little bit. The driver told me, he says, "Hey, man, you know, if the company send you to pick up some potato chips over in Oregon or Washington, somewhere, I forgot what he said. He was like, you make sure you read all the documentation in the paperwork, because the route information, it tells you what route to take." And I was like, "Is that right?" I mean, I told him I read all my stuff all the time anyway, but I said, "So what's so urgent about reading this paperwork?" And he was like, "Well, the company pay you for going out of route." And I said, "Is that right?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Because those potato chips, the company don't want the potato chips to air up in the higher elevation and bust." I was like, "Oh, that is right." You know, when you guys get out here, and some of you guys who are out here, you know, you driving your truck, you go in high elevations, the oxygen expand or whatever in the bag, and then the bag start getting all bigger, and then all of a sudden, you know, it may pop or something like that. So the company really stated they don't want you going to higher elevations. Take a lower elevation, even if that means going out of route. And the company still got to pay you for it, like I said. So he was saying, so instead of going back down US 395, whatever, he was like, take US 97. And I was like, that's crazy. I took US 97 to get here, right? Which was the first time I ever took US 97. I'm gonna tell you, that's a cool route. That's a cool way to get to Oregon. So for me, that'd probably be the only way I'm gonna take to get to Oregon. I'm gonna take US 97. If I gotta drive up in through Redding, up in the weed, exit through weed, and get on 97 and roll it all the way through, I'm gonna do that instead of going all the way to Oregon, you know, up over the mountains and all that stuff like that. Nah, because even if I do that, I could have still took you be on the US 97, right? You can either take the exit that's going to keep straight and come east side of Oregon, or you can take west that's going to go near Eugene, Oregon, which comes out by exit, I think 188 or 199 or something like that, which automatically puts you it kind of takes you, that's a longer route. You know, if you take that route, it's kind of a longer route. So you still got to go through the mountains, and but I'm gonna tell you, I like taking that route. So for me, I'm gonna take that route, and that's the first time I ever heard that a company will pay you, or pays the company for that driver taking the long way around to avoid high elevations, so that their product don't get destroyed or damaged. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys a little quick update on what's going on with me. Everything is still good. This week I put down right at 2,965 miles for the week. Good week. To me, my range where I'd be trying to shoot is somewhere between 2,800 and 3,500. Even when it being slow, I'm still at like 32, 31, something like that, 100 miles for the week. So someone tell you drive-in drivers for night don't get miles, that ain't really true, because I get the miles. I don't, and that's another thing. I don't, let me throw this out there. I don't turn down a lot of miles. I don't turn down a lot of routes. I don't turn down a lot of weights, loads. I just don't. Because just as sure as God blessed me to have this job and I'm in here in this truck, I've learned how to manage my time. I've learned how to adjust my tandems, my fifth wheel, adjust my weight so that I'm not too heavy. I learned how to drive my truck at a rate where it's going to get me there early or right on time. So I don't turn down a lot of loads. I don't have to drive at night. I drive at night when I want to, or when I see that in my trip planning that I need to drive into the night to make sure I make my on-time delivery. So don't sit back and just think that just because you go drive in, you may not get the miles. I just want to throw it out there, man. Want to give you guys a little update on where I'm at and what's going on with me. Everything is still good. I probably post about 2 more videos a day. I'm trying to keep this one short because there are some other topics that I want to talk to you guys about. All right, y'all be safe, be good, and you got any questions, hit me up. Take care. Bye.
Starting to feel like a happy ending, tough but under